Okay, Groot. Are you sure if I push this button, and not that one, the science project's gonna work right this time?
I am Neek.
Wait, what?
Good morning, students. Welcome to school. Remember, the thought of the day is...
I learned not to get too comfortable with my place or position in life. It can change like that.
Welcome to Ecology 101, the study of the nerd and geek in their natural habitat. Today we're going to be taking another dip into fan fiction with episode 70, A Force of Underdogs. This is our first all-female cast for this piece, which takes place shortly after the events of The Last Jedi. So the last rebellion's packed under the good old faithful Millennium Falcon, and we're having a little bit of a ladies heart-to-heart talking about the future. So Princess Leia, Rey, and Rose are discussing their future. So we hope you enjoy our piece today. Thank you for Megan, Autumn, and Nicki for being our cast. Appreciate your hard work, and thank you for giving us a little bit of your vocal talent. So again, hope you enjoy our fan fiction. Little dip into Star Wars. And with Star Wars coming out, hopefully you'll enjoy it, and we'll see how close we got. So, all right, thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
Ladies, I know you have a lot of questions, and seeing as if we have a long journey to the Outer Rim, let's talk. Not everyone at once.
Okay, I have a question, General.
Please, Rose. Just Leia is fine.
Okay, Leia. Did you always have a connection with the Force? I mean, how did you survive the explosion on the bridge?
What explosion?
You missed it. She was the only survivor when the Imperials attacked the fleet. They took out the bridge, and Leia managed to stay alive in space. Well, until...
Why didn't anyone tell me about this?
Well, you were gone, training with Luke.
Still should have told me.
How do I begin to explain how I survived the explosion on the bridge?
Yeah, I want to know.
It really began when Luke set me down after the death of our father. Darth Vader was my father.
And Kylo idolizes him.
We all have a dark side in our past.
Some have it literally.
Wasn't your mother a senator?
Yes, and I chose politics instead of being a Jedi. Even though Luke wasn't happy I chose this call, he reminded me about the position I was in. Being the daughter of a most hated man in the universe and representing the Alliance would make me lots of enemies.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
How did you manage to handle all that?
Well, it started with sharing the load, the burden as it were, with a few I trusted. I didn't have to do it by myself. None of us are ever meant to take on an entire empire alone.
Unless you are Poe.
Or Master Skywalker.
But they still were leading the charge that others followed. In time, they would finally understand how leadership worked. The best leaders often had to stand alone for a moment or a season, and are often the underdogs others overlook.
So, nobodies make the best somebodies.
Right. Of course. However, I think people who have a calling leave behind their past no matter what they were born into. Before the rebellion, I had it all. I was a princess who lived on the most peaceful planet in the galaxy. Who in their right mind would walk away from that?
How did you manage to get your footing when your reality changed? When it all turned upside down?
Getting those Death Star plans really changed everything. I guess I understood what sort of enemy we really were facing. Trust me, it shook my faith for a time, and I really had a time of doubt and fear.
Was it tough going against authority when you were sworn to protect it?
I never thought I would rebel against the very Senate I fought to protect. Well, it all went backwards when the Emperor took control. I was told my mother was there the day it all began.
That sounds terrible.
I can't imagine what that was like, not knowing who to trust.
Did you ever doubt your decisions or have questions about your abilities?
I learned not to get too comfortable with my place or position in life. It can change like that. One minute you are taking on diplomatic missions on your own Corellian cruiser, and then you're the last of the Alliance squeezed into a smuggling ship like the Falcon.
They're both well-made Corellian ships, for what it's worth. It's bigger on the inside than I imagined.
For an old piece of junk, it has been an old faithful friend. You often don't appreciate things at first. I do now.
Did that humble you? Losing a position and reputation. You didn't break when it got tough. Why?
Luke told me that my life would be in constant threat, so getting a little Jedi training would be for my benefit.
So you did get Jedi training after all. How did you find the time to train when you had to set up a new republic, manage your life, and have Han Solo and a precocious child like Kylo?
That's a lot to balance.
I will tell you what I didn't do. I didn't depend on myself. I got my hope and my faith back. That was the plan I needed to follow.
Like destiny was calling you?
Something like that. I also began to listen to mentors who I could trust. So Luke started with my ability to be aware of other people's thoughts and feelings. He taught me how to slow down in the craziness of things and listen, really listen.
That is what Master Skywalker taught me to do. I was so worked up when I first met him.
Yes, slow down and breathe. Rushing into things without planning is foolish. Dealing with galactic politics can take your breath away and your mind to horrible places.
As a mechanic, I deal with things behind the scenes. That's a lot for me, talking to lots of people. I couldn't imagine working with that many diverse kind of people.
But you learn so much from other people's stories. I'm sure, Leia, that you've seen the good side in all this.
Of course, that is what gets me up every day, thinking about all the people who want a better life. However, I learned to be diligent and to be aware of potential enemies before they attack.
Me too. I'm learning how to be prepared among friends or enemies. Sith love to hide in plain sight. I don't always get it right.
Like Palpatine, wasn't he once a friend of your mother? I mean, that's what the rumors said.
I heard that too. I guess we learn to understand who a real friend is when the time of testing comes.
Definitely. I would not be here now if it weren't for BB-8 and Finn.
Luke taught me how to use the Force to build a protective field around me. I think it was more like a releasing of myself and holding on to something bigger and stronger than me.
My sister understood that. She never trusted herself, but knew when to put her faith in. I'm sure right to the end.
The Force challenges everything that we see and makes us trust in the things we can't.
The Force did that to me, pushing me to make some hard decisions.
In politics, many people assume that it's all about being powerful and strong, and it all depends on you and what you possess. That's a pretty empty assumption if you ask me. Ray, you are living proof that you don't have to have a royal upbringing to be called to do great things.
I hope that's true. I was just a scavenger before getting tangled up in the rebellion.
That's great to be a hero on the front line. Some of us just work quietly behind the scenes.
Rose, being behind the scenes can give you a perspective many of us miss, and it's so vital. You might think heroes are only those who fight the enemy face to face. Without people behind the scenes, nothing would happen out there where the battle rages.
Thank you, General.
Leia.
It seems like you've lost a lot of things, and are still recovering.
I am, but these losses might bring us to our knees, but that is a place where we can draw on a greater strength. Being humbled is a great place to be and keeps our pride in check.
I can do that.
I've definitely learned new things about myself since that day on Jakku.
The truth is, I think the Force isn't a mindless thing. Somehow, I have always known. We all have a calling and a purpose that we are meant to fulfill. Then we can have peace.
My father said we are learning every day of our life.
Yes, most definitely.
Maybe we are indestructible until our time has come.
That seems like a lot to think about.
Wild.
But we aren't here forever. You need to listen. Really listen to your calling, especially now that things are changing. Don't ignore it.
But it all seems bigger than this little group.
We have everything we need in this little room. Hold my hand. Pass on what you have learned and be ready for even the impossible to happen.
We aren't going to win by fighting what we hate, but saving what we love.
That's so true.
I couldn't agree more.
Thanks for listening to Necology 101, the study of the nerd and geek in their natural habitat. If you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with all that's new in the fandom universe. You can find Necology 101 on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, or wherever you listen to the podcast. We'd love to hear from our fans, and your input helps make this show possible. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at Goddaman Geeks, or you can contact us at necology101class@gmail.com. We know we have a lot of fandom choices out there, so thanks for letting us invade your fandom universe. Because we are still the knights who say, Neek.